lying, deceitful. And the Count. He just assumes he can take whatever he wants. Because he's rich, he thinks he's smart. It's taken me more brains simply to stay alive for the past 30 years than it's taken his kind to run the country for the past century. Someone's coming. It's... No. No one. So, here I am, sitting in the dark, playing out my part in this dingy little farce. How did it end like this? Lost, or given away at the moment I was born, raised by thieves and taught to steal, I ran away from all that and tried to make a respectable life for myself, but with no family, no connections, no money, no education. What chance does anyone have? So I read everything I could get my hands on. And I watched the rich whenever I could. I studied their manners, how they spoke, how they walked, how they carried their perfect heads in that way that makes everyone understand immediately who is in charge. I watched until I could imitate them perfectly, then threw my lot in with the theater, the only place outside a gypsy camp where who you are doesn't matter and what you do does. I wrote a comedy that made everyone laugh, except one powerful man who was able to shut it down immediately. No, not a critic, but the fat bishop who thought that no one should laugh at the rich fools who bought the indulgences which built his palaces, and the hypocrites his sermons kept in power. The play closed, the company disbanded, I was broke. I asked a banker for a loan, but because I needed it, I was denied. So I took up my pen and wrote a book that everyone admired, which offered the modest suggestion that the rich should pay more tax than the poor, speculators should be responsible for their own losses, and government ministries should not accept gifts from wealthy merchants. Everyone loved it. Instantly, I found myself provided with room and board at government expense in a grand pile of stone known as the Bastille, with a few others, like myself, so well admired for our cleverness that they locked us away where we could share our writings amongst ourselves alone, thereby making everything we wrote much more interesting and far more dangerous than if they had left us to be ignored. One day, having gotten tired of feeding an obscure guest, they threw me out onto the streets and told me I was free to write about whatever I wanted, as long as I didn't comment on politics, economics, or morality. The nobility, the military, the judiciary, philosophy, theology, philology, the rich, the poor, art, literature, music, opera, or the drama. So I founded a newspaper. I called it The Useless Journal, a newspaper about nothing. No one understood it, and therefore everyone thought it clever. It was a huge success, and drew subscribers and advertisers from the other papers. But the other publishers weren't worried. They simply formed up a cartel and bought out all the papers so that none was available to the Useless Journal at any price. No paper to print on, no Useless Journal. Thrown out into the streets once again. But this time I thought, aha, the courts will give me justice. But the highest court in the land ruled that the free market had worked its magic. They ruled the triumph of success for a government of the cartel, by the bankers, and for the entitled. For it was now concluded that the richest voice would always be the loudest. I was desperate. The only way out was to join them and become a banker, a lawyer, or a politician. I chose the only honorable path and became a thief. Before I could embark fully on my new life, I ran across a lord who remembered me from my days in the theater. He engaged me as his barber in Seville, and I helped him with a scheme to win a wife. And for my help in winning the Count a wife, he rewards me by stealing mine. Then, as I'm about to stumble into the greatest trap of all by marrying my own mother, my parents magically appear. Strawberry birthmark, spatula, fleur-de-lis, that's a spatula. Is it he who you meet, little baby Emmanuel? I know your mother. Where there, damn? I know your father. Where there, damn? Spatula, fleur-de-lis, spatula, Emmanuel, Figaro, mother, son, father, son. Can't marry his mother. Damn! Problem, pickle, dad. Has there ever been a stranger turn of events? Thrown into life with no idea where it will lead nor when it might end. The only thing that's kept me going is the ability to laugh at everything from counts to cobblestones. But no more. Life turns laughter into a dry cough. What is this sack of bones, blood, and brains that is Figaro? Who am I? I don't know anymore. I have been servant and master and servant again, seen everything, done everything, worn out everything, until there is nothing, not a single illusion left. And to think, I stood behind him with a razor in my hand a few hours ago. Oh, Suzanne. The one who made everything worth the doing. No more. Someone's coming. It begins.